You're breastfeeding your beautiful baby. Things are really going well in that department, but there's some other body changes that you're not quite sure about. And you're wondering if you're normal, if there's something seriously wrong, or how your body's adapting to breastfeeding. First of all, a lot of women notice that they're just exhausted, even if they're getting plenty of sleep and they're napping through the day or they're sleeping whenever their baby sleeps. And that's because when you're breastfeeding, you're burning an extra 500 calories every day just to make milk. That takes a lot of energy. So it's very normal and natural for you to be tired. That exhaustion is also because when you sit down and you're breastfeeding your baby, your body makes a hormone called oxytocin. And oxytocin is the cuddling hormone. It makes you want to cuddle your baby. But it also causes a lot of drowsiness and sleepiness. It's kind of Mother Nature's way to help women sit down if they're able to and kind of relax while they're breastfeeding. That helps with the letdown reflex, and it helps them also bond with their baby. So exhaustion is really normal. And I just want to say, anytime you're sitting down feeding your baby, be sure you have water or some other liquid like milk available so that you can be feeding yourself and rehydrating as you're giving your baby good, healthy nutrition. Another thing that happens is that women notice that their memory is really shot. People call it breastfeeding brain, like they can't remember anything. This has a lot to do with the sleep deprivation and some of the changes that occur in our brains when we have less estrogen. Don't worry, this will come back and you'll get your memory back. And this is just a transitory or a transient phenomenon. Once you start getting more and more sleep, you'll notice that your memory comes back. You may also have noticed that you're losing hair, especially around your temples. And you may notice that your hair is not quite as thick. It's not that you're losing hair or that you're going to have a lot of hair loss. It's just that during pregnancy, all of those hormones made your hair thicker and more luxuriant. And now that the hormones are leaving your body, you're losing some of that added benefit that you got during pregnancy. Any hair loss that happens around the temples usually comes back. I would advise you not to use minoxidil or Rogaine to try to get your hair to grow back, but make sure you continue to take your prenatal vitamins because that's the best thing you can do for your hair. Make sure you're getting plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables and lots of protein because hair growth depends on a few things: vitamin D, vitamin B12, and getting plenty of protein and also iron. So if you're concerned about that or you had a lot of bleeding with your delivery, talk to your healthcare provider and ask them to do some lab tests. And also, if you're concerned about that iron deficiency anemia, the best blood test to check for is a ferritin level. So what else can you expect if you're breastfeeding a baby? Many women find that they have absolutely no interest in sex. And this happens because they're exhausted. And it also happens from some of the hormone changes that may be occurring. Many women also tell me that, they just don't like the idea of even being touched. They're being touched all day. They're breastfeeding, every 2 to 3 hours. They just don't want to be touched again. This is a very normal and natural response. And if this is causing issues with your partner, be sure to sit down and talk about some of the other ways that you can express your love and your intimacy with each other. And maybe even take a break from caregiving with the baby so that you can take care of yourself and perhaps feel more in the mood. Many women also tell me that they have a lot of vaginal dryness, and when they even wipe with toilet paper, it's very irritated and very dry. This again is due to a lack of estrogen, and that occurs because when our bodies make milk, our breasts are telling our brain to produce a hormone called prolactin, and prolactin inhibits estrogen. And estrogen is the hormone that causes our vulvas and our vaginas to be more elastic, more able to produce natural lubrication, and be able to widen. So if you're noticing that your vagina is really dry, you may want to talk to your healthcare provider about using a small amount of localized, just vaginal estrogen. It only stays in the vagina. It doesn't circulate through the entire body. It does not interfere with your breast milk production, but it can really help you feel less irritated, and it can help with any intimacy, whether you're using a toy, you're having sex with a partner, or you're wiping. So that's something you might consider. Now, when it comes to the idea of hormones, many women wonder, what can I do for contraception? I'm not quite ready to have another pregnancy right now. So if you use a combined hormonal contraceptive, that means like a combined birth control pill, that's one with estrogen and progesterone in it, that can interfere with breastfeeding because that goes through the entire body, unlike just a little bit of localized or vaginal estrogen. So the combined birth control pill or the combined vaginal ring, these are not recommended for women who are breastfeeding because it can reduce milk supply. What is recommended? You can use a hormonal IUD that only has progesterone in it, something like Liletta or Mirena. You might also consider using the hormonal implant that only has progesterone in it. Some women like the convenience of a pill, and there is a progestin-only pill that will not interfere with breastfeeding. And again, many women prefer to use condoms or a barrier method. If you're using condoms and you're breastfeeding, it's probably going to be super dry unless you've used a little bit of vaginal estrogen. And in that case, do use a water-soluble lubricant that's safe to use with condoms. Another thing a lot of women notice when they're breastfeeding is that they find that when they go online and they use social media, that there's a lot of comparison and a lot of despair. So there's a lot of compare and despair. And when you're breastfeeding a baby, it takes an enormous amount of energy and also caregiving with a baby and taking care of yourself. And so often when people are posting pictures or stories online, they're only showing the very best parts of their day. They're not showing every aspect of their day. And one thing that I saw as a nurse practitioner caring for a lot of new moms was that people felt like they were somehow inadequate or there was something that they were doing wrong if they weren't happy every minute and they weren't having these beautiful experiences that they could post online. I want to reassure you that virtually every new mom has challenges, and they may not be talking about it openly. They may not be posting about it, but virtually everyone has challenges. And so it's important to know that you're not alone. And if you're really struggling, if you're feeling depressed or you're having other thoughts that are really disruptive or disturbing, do talk to your prenatal provider. Talk to the people who took care of you during your prenatal care and during your pregnancy. We've all heard this before, and we are here to help you have a great experience, not only with breastfeeding, but as a new mom. There's a lot of great resources out there. Las Madres, the La Leche League, new moms groups are available at most hospitals and birthing centers. But again, talk to your own prenatal provider because they can help you tap into those community resources that are available for you. And you'll see you're not alone if you're having struggles because most of us don't get an instruction manual for how to take care of our specific child or our baby. I hope this has been really helpful. Leave a comment below. And of course, I'd love it if you clicked like and subscribe for more videos about every aspect of women's health care. Take care and be well.